This is why Real Madrid has spent over a year chasing one specific Manchester City midfielder, and why the case for signing him got a lot stronger the moment he lifted a World Cup golden ball. Rodri is a genuine transfer target for Real Madrid heading into the summer of 2026, and here's exactly why, along with the real reasons this could still fall apart.
Real Madrid, for example, in this sense, I remember the game they go against Liverpool, and they were 2-0 down, and I saw their faces. I was like, these guys are not worried. And I was saying to the lads, guys, you've seen their faces, like they're not kind of, okay, we will overcome this situation, don't worry.
Toni Kroos is where this story really begins. Since his retirement, right after Real Madrid won the Champions League in 2023-24, the club has managed just one trophy, the 2024 FIFA Intercontinental Cup, and that's with Kylian Mbappe, Vinicius Jr., and Jude Bellingham all leading the attack. Luka Modric's departure in 2025 only made things worse, stripping out the second half of a midfield partnership that had anchored the club for years. Kroos himself confirmed the gap directly this summer, telling Mundo Deportivo, "They're still missing a profile like mine. They're still looking for it." That's not outside speculation talking. That's the player himself admitting Real Madrid never solved the problem his exit left behind. It's not that the club hasn't tried. Aurelien Tchouameni, Eduardo Camavinga, and Arda
Nicolo Barella, Enzo Fernandez, and Alexis McAllister were all reportedly on Real Madrid's radar before Rodri, and all three got ruled out for the same reason: long-term contracts that made a deal impractical. That detail matters more than it first appears, because it shows this wasn't a shortlist built around one obsession. Real Madrid scanned the market broadly and kept running into the same wall. Rodri's situation broke differently. His Manchester City deal runs only through 2027, and that window gave Real Madrid an actual path to get him, instead of just admiring him from a distance. Dani Carvajal, Real Madrid's own vice-captain, has publicly pushed for exactly this kind of signing, calling for new blood in a midfield still reeling from the post-Ancelotti upheaval. Coming from a player inside the dressing room rather than an outside pundit, that endorsement carries a different kind of weight. What makes the tactical case stronger, though, is that this isn't just about replacing one name with another. Managing Madrid's analysis points to a specific pairing: Rodri alongside Tchouameni in a double pivot, with Rodri handling ball progression the way Kroos once did, which would free Tchouameni to focus purely on the physical and defensive side of the role. That flexibility runs deeper too, since the same analysis notes Rodri's game works next to Tchouameni, Fede Valverde, Bernardo Silva, or Güler, depending on how the manager wants to shape things. Few midfielders can realistically slot into that many different pairings without the system needing to be rebuilt around them.
For us, it's very important. I think sometimes it's not about just scoring or assisting. I think he controls everything. He organizes the team. He decides when we press. He decides when we attack. And for us, it's very important. Every time we are under pressure, he gives us a chance to give him the ball. He never loses the ball, and I think he deserves this trophy because he played an amazing tournament. Yeah, it's unbelievable. I think since the first day we arrived here, we try to play our football, our style. I think we start
Precision matters here, because the Who Wants Rodri story has run through 3 different Real Madrid managers in about 13 months. Xabi Alonso took over in summer 2025, got fired in January 2026 after a Super Cup final loss to Barcelona, and Álvaro Arbeloa stepped in on an interim basis. Then, June 2026 brought José Mourinho back to the club, officially announced on the 11th, on a contract running through 2029. More than a decade after his first spell in charge, the one remembered for a record-breaking 100-point La Liga season. Some of the earliest reporting on Rodri as Kroos' replacement was written while Alonso still held the job. What never changed between managers was the need itself. What did change is who's making the call now. And Mourinho's interest in Rodri wasn't automatic at all. Early reporting suggests his first instinct upon arriving was actually to prioritize a completely different midfield profile, and it took Rodri's World Cup form to shift that thinking.
Winning the Golden Ball at the 2026 World Cup is the moment multiple outlets point to as the real turning point at the Bernabéu. Reports now suggest Mourinho has told club president Florentino Perez directly that Real Madrid should sign him, with some outlets comparing the push to how Mourinho previously got Bernardo Silva and Marc Cucurella over the line despite hesitation elsewhere in the building. That specific comparison traces back to a single Spanish outlet, so it's worth treating as one account rather than settled fact. Still, the broader direction lines up with everything else being reported. Mourinho carries real weight at this version of Real Madrid, and when he wants a player, he tends to get him, eventually.
Fitness sits at the top of nearly every source's concerns, and for good reason. Rodri's ACL and meniscus tear cost him roughly 9 months, and a further setback hit him at the 2025 Club World Cup just weeks after he'd been cleared to play, forced off in extra time against Al Hilal. On top of that, he's reportedly set to undergo a minor back procedure after the World Cup, described as low risk, but still one more data point in an already lengthy injury file. Perez's own biggest reservation, according to multiple reports, centers specifically on that fitness question, not on the football itself. It's worth remembering, too, that this same recovery period produced real public doubt about whether Rodri would ever return to his old level at all. Doubt that came from injury experts, not just message boards, which makes the fitness concern less a knee-jerk worry and more a continuation of a question that's followed him for over a year. Fitness sits at the top of nearly every source's concerns, and for good reason. Rodri's ACL and meniscus tear cost him roughly 9 months, and a further setback hit him at the 2025 Club World Cup just weeks after he'd been cleared to play, forced off in extra time against Al Hilal. On top of that, he's reportedly set to undergo a minor back procedure after the World Cup, described as low risk, but still one more data point in an already lengthy injury file. Perez's own biggest reservation, according to multiple reports, centers specifically on that fitness question, not on the football itself. It's worth remembering, too, that this same recovery period produced real public doubt about whether Rodri would ever return to his old level at all. Doubt that came from injury experts, not just message boards, which makes the fitness concern less a knee-jerk worry and more a continuation of a question that's followed him for over a year.
The most recent reporting has Real Madrid confident of getting the deal done before the summer ends, with Rodri himself reportedly willing to make the move. None of that adds up to a finished transfer yet, though. What's actually happened is simple enough. Real Madrid has a real, well-documented hole at the position Kroos used to own. The internal replacements haven't closed it, and Rodri, fresh off a golden ball, matches both the profile and the price point the club needs. Whether the fitness risk and the crowded midfield end up outweighing that fit is still genuinely up in the air, but the reason Madrid wants him in the first place was never complicated. It's the exact reason Kroos pointed to himself. They never actually replaced him.